Well, hello everybody. It's our first time doing it this way, um, and I'm so honored and grateful to be hosting one of the first sessions that we're gonna have about singer-songwriters in New York City, and we are tonight premiering two music videos by wonderful Finnish-born, New York-based artists. The first one I would like to introduce is Petra Jasmiina, who is a Finnish singer songwriter and producer based in New York City. Her music combines pop, folk, and electronica with classical and cinematic influences and tells stories of beauty, creativity, and dreams. She has won several awards for her music videos and is working on her debut album. I think that's a little bit outdated at this point, and her own production company, which I'm also aware that it's a little bit outdated, and we're going to hear about both of those very soon. The second artist is called Johanna Telander, who is a Finnish American composer, writer, and performer who created the acclaimed musical Kalevala the Musical and composed music for other musical projects. I know for a fact, because I work with both of them, that she's currently working on another musical, which I'm sure she's going to talk about soon. And she just finished working on a film project. In the past, she started her career with Universal Music and has since worked in various media, including radio, television, film, and commercials. She has appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, Jimmy Fallon. Oh, which one is it? Let's make it fun. And at the UN and the Lincoln Center. She has also acted and done voiceover work in the past. She has degrees from AMDA, AMTA, and Capital University, and is a mother, nature lover, and education advocate. So please welcome Johanna Telander and Petra Jasmiina, and let's keep this hour light. It's gonna be fun. It's, for all of us, it's a happy Tuesday night. So please.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Valev, thank you so much for those introductions. You are such a amazing asset to any artist's arsenal, and I am so joyous to have known you for the past. How many years has it been? Like, what do you think? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've lost count.
I was gonna say it's like half a decade, but it's been a little bit longer than that.
It really has because
But
we
that's
started
true.
working together on Galavala in
20,
2018, probably because
yeah,
20 was the
2018
pandemic.
or 2017 maybe even. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was still back in Rochester, at that point
I
when we
know. You were
talking
just
about.
coming in. We instantly hit it off. We were best friends ever since. And then, not to mention the fact how incredibly honored and joyous I am to hang out with you, Petra. I don't know if you heard me
Same.
sing your praises in the live stream I just did, but I was talking about how just brilliant and genius you are
Oh,
and how
thank
we just
you.
instantly became friends. So,
We did. Thank you to both of you for just doing this and being here. And this is very fun to do things together for once. I mean, I feel like as independent artists, you're very often alone, just in your little corner doing things. So it's always really fun to just be able to find like-minded people to do things with. And thank you, Vale, for you know, organizing, hosting, saying nice things about us. That's always very welcome. So thank you for that.
So I wanted to start tonight off by both of you kind of introducing yourself and telling us about what you're working on. Because like I said, Petra, you've been working on so many other things since that bio was written on Spotify. So
I
there's
really
so
should
much
have
more.
sent you a new one.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I should have asked. That's the point. But there's been so much more going on. So if you could give us a little, recap of what are you working on, what's going on, and then
Sure.
also tell us a little story about how the two of you met before we get into the music videos.
Sure.
love it.
So first of all, what I have been working on, oh gosh, well, I guess I almost have to decide how far back to go first. But in the recent years, so in 2000, so in 2022, I put out the so-called opening number of my full-length album, which was called Naive. It is a song that is very personal to me and kind of opens up this whole box of untold stories, so to speak, which is this album. The whole theme of the album is, I don't actually think I've revealed this yet, but I'm going to now. Lucky you who are tuning in. The whole theme of the album is stories that we tell ourselves. And Naive was just it's a fairy tale. It's a darkish fairy tale, but it's a fairy tale. That basically about my life and about creativity and claiming myself as an autistic person and everything that has happened since doing that. Those of you who know me know that I've been writing songs since I was 9 years old in complete secrecy. And I kept that a close secret until I was 25. And so that really is kind of the beginning of the story that this album is going to tell. And so Naive was a music release and then followed by a music video that I did with Alexei Posnikov, who is also the magical wizard behind the music video that we are releasing tonight, a dear friend and a collaborator of mine of many years. And so something insane happened with that music video. It just went everywhere. It won a bunch of awards, international music festivals that some of them I knew of, some of them I didn't know of. And it was a very interesting, exciting time. And since then, I've basically just been releasing new music as much as I possibly can. Jackie O'Lake, a song about sort of coming to New York and starting my musical career here, came out last spring, and a music video adjacent to that as well. And now Summer Dress obviously has been out for about a month, and now tonight you'll all get to see the music video related to that. So I'm thinking of this album as it's a musical album, of course, but it's also a bunch of visual work with every song, which has been really really fun and a completely new kind of challenge for me to make. So that's me. And about how we met with Johanna was actually, I don't know if you know the story, Valev, but this is actually my first ever live show in New York that Johanna invited me to perform at, but I didn't want to tell her that it was my first show because I didn't want like the added pressure of the whole thing. So she probably thought that I had like performed, a bunch, and I just went to this show so incredibly green and so nervous. But Johanna was at this. It was Finland. Finland was turning 100 years of independence, and so they were doing this gorgeous street fair thing with a bunch of different performers. And I was one of them, and Kalevala the musical was one of them. And that's how me and Johanna kind of connected. And then I became involved with the project. And sometime along the road, sort of became. I have worn many hats during during that project. One of them being associate producer, and we've been kind of walking down this Kalevala road together for many years now, the three of us really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the long and short of that. Maybe you have something to add, Johanna. Did I leave something out?
No, you did not leave anything out. I had some comments about your bio, and but of course they flitted on my head. But one of them had to do with how you said that you claimed your artistic person, and I just think that that is something that I really feel is important for us to all know and to all really own to, is that it does take bravery to be an artistic person. It does take incredible honesty and when I mean honesty towards yourself, to just
Yeah.
say that this is a part of me that I cannot deny, that is who I am, that is part of what makes me tick, what makes me breathe. And the fact that you said that you claimed your artistic person, it's
Mhm.
something that I think any of us artists can resonate with. And as far
Yeah.
as how green you were when we met, I definitely did not know, and you did not come across that way. What I remember is an energetic, can do person who was just so willing and happy to be there to share her story and share her
Mm.
art. And that's something that I think you, Valev, you, Petra, both have in common. And I do feel like congratulations all around. But I feel like we have found a family, an artistic family within within this group, and also, our extended family from all the friends and colleagues that we've worked with. And it's what's made the New York Artist Stream tick and work for us. So
Mhm.
it all started with us claiming our artistic person and then
Exactly.
sharing it with one another and making all this art happen. So I think that, that's quite
That's
cool.
really well said. Yeah, and I have to say that one of my favorite quotes. I really wish that I knew who this quote was by originally. I have to check that. Um, because I want to give credit where it's due. But one of my favorite quotes is that there is no such thing as one-way liberation. And I really truly have, I mean, that can be understood in many ways. It can be understood in political ways or in whichever. But the way I've really seen it in my life is that when you are able to be honest and authentic with yourself about who you are, it really does give permission to everyone around you to do the same. And what I find to be just one of the best things about my life, really, in the recent years, is to see that spread, to see it kind of just take flight and to see other people around me. I've had friends who all of a sudden one day they come to me and they say they've written a song that they never thought they would do in their entire lives, or that they've joined an improv group or whatever it might be. And it's just been really amazing to see. So thank you for highlighting that that
Yeah.
Johanna, because it's really true that it is. I feel like it's a very necessary and a very sort of um, overlooked part of creativity.
And part of humanity, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think we are all creative in one way, shape, or form. It could be baking, it could be sewing, it could be artistic expression. There is not a person alive on this earth that isn't creative in some way, shape, or form. I think it's
yeah,
what makes us human.
yeah.
I wanted to say, I found it really funny, and I said that in the stream before this, that both of us wrote songs about summer that are bittersweet. How Finnish of us.
Yes,
And then we also
super
released
sad.
them in the fall.
Yes,
How bittersweet is that? And Finnish of us, because let's face it, Finnish summers are way too short. So of
yep,
course we would release our songs in the fall. And then how funny is it that we're almost in Thanksgiving when we both decided to just get that one last huzzah of summer in with these music videos.
yes. And
And
what's
thanks to
so
all those that are joining us, by the way, on this crazy
yeah, thank you.
summer, back to summer event.
Hi to everybody, and welcome back to Summer with us. And what's even more funny about this is that, well, equally funny about this is that the day that I put out Summer Dress, the song, I really it was like kind of like getting very autumny. It was getting very cold and windy and rainy, and I was like, no one's gonna want to hear a song about summer days and sunsets and romance and stuff. And then that day, literally, the weather turned completely. It was like summer all over again, sunny. It was
It
like
was the sign.
30 degrees in Celsius. I don't know what that is, like 100 degrees warm. We were like sitting on my fire escape with my boyfriend, just going, what is happening? How is this? What just happened? This song just brought summer back to us, literally. And now the exact opposite is happening. So we are now releasing both of our music videos tonight, and they are promising a dangerous snowstorm to New York tomorrow. So we're
It is
like,
the
what is
last
happening with
huzzah.
this weather?
It's the songs. It is the magic of creativity, and it's the songs. I am
It is.
It's so
100%
hilarious. And by the
convinced.
way, just letting you guys know, we don't see all the chats, but I'm gonna try to keep an eye on them, especially during the music videos. I thought that they would all show up here, but it's all right.
Mm.
There's a lot of positive feedback coming your way already,
Yay.
so you're being loved. One
Oh,
thing
All
love you
we
back.
hope is that everybody's warm tonight for a little
everybody's
bit
warm.
Yeah.
with
I'm
these
having a glass
journeys.
of wine, so I'm warm because of that. I have my window open, one of those Brooklyn apartments. But one more question that I had before we get into the music videos was if you could both tell us about your inspiration for your music and your lyrics, because they're so poignant to what you're presenting, and it's so unique and so different. And I know, Johanna, you from Kalevala, which is very nature connected and stuff. And I see it also in this music video, but it has a different angle and it has a completely different sound to it. And Petra, I know you've done very poppy stuff before, and this one is again taking a little bit of a different direction. So if you could tell us about your influences and both for music and lyrics.
Johanna, why don't you go first on this?
All right. I was just going to say the same, but I shall start. Okay.
As usual, our
As
brains
usual.
synchronize.
Yes. Yes. First of all, before we go into that, Valev, how hilarious is it that we were supposed to do this question and answer afterwards, and then you opened the platform to Petra and me, and
Well,
as a
I had two questions I wanted to get straight before we
okay,
get into the music videos,
well,
just to get to
good.
know you a
No,
little bit better.
that's great. So we have permission to talk, is what you're saying. That's good. Okay.
It might
So
never stop, though. So
it might never stop. That was what I was getting at. Is fair warning. Valev, cut us off if we need to get to the actual celebration of the evening. But to answer the question shortly and sweetly, my singer-songwriter pop stuff is something that I've written as long as I've lived. Basically, you know, it's I do have a connection to nature, and in this particular song, and nature and poetry and nature and their connection. And in this particular song, I actually deliberately left the meaning of what this song was to me vague, because I wanted to open it to whoever needed it and whoever needed to come to terms with similar feelings. So it is very bittersweet and sad and deep, and it is about the sense of loss and facing the finiteness of the world and of our lives in it. Because when you look at the ocean, how can that not come into your mind? You know, when you look at the ocean, you think of how timeless it is and how those waves are just this constant motion that has been here so long before we as humans even roam the earth, and is still here and will still be here once we leave. So it always reminds me of what pebbles of sand we are in the infiniteness of the universe and how finite we are.
she sounds like a songwriter, don't you think?
That's it. It sounds like it. That's
That was an
great.
amazing answer. You should write that
And
down.
that's a wonderful introduction, because I was going to ask from you for an introduction, but I think we already got that. So
Yeah.
That's
it's really,
beautiful.
really nice. Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad that you asked about our inspirations behind. And just so everyone listening, we don't know what he's going to ask us, but it just so happened that you asked the question to which I really want to answer, because I had a big epiphany. I think this was yesterday or 2 days ago. I did an interview and someone asked me the same question, and they asked me if I have any sort of common themes in my writing, and I'd never really thought of that. But as I was answering in real time, I had this epiphany, and I realized that all of these scattered thoughts and stories that I have been telling for 30 years now. I've been writing since I was 9, like I said, and it's always just been about my life and what I feel and what I see and what inspires me, and very often also just stories that are completely imagined that actually have nothing to do with my own life. But I always kind of just thought that it was just one beautiful mess of things that didn't have any logic. And now I had this epiphany where I realized that, especially with this song, but with most of my writing, what I actually write about are the biggest mysteries in my life. And what I mean by that is I write a lot about time. If you've heard my debut single, Hours, you'll understand what I mean. I write a lot about love, obviously, which I will never fully understand and don't want to. I write a lot about death. I write a lot about life. I write a lot about nature. I write a lot about exactly what Johanna was saying, the sort of continuity yet finiteness of life and everything we live through. And if I put all these themes together, then actually what they are things that I do not know. So I'm doing the opposite of what people tell you to do, which is write what you know. But I'm just doing it on a slightly different level, I guess, which is I realize that all of these things, the way they really link together is that there is a sense of mystery there that I feel like I'm exploring in my writing somehow. And the song is a great example of that, because it's really a young, beautifully innocent, naive love story that is inevitably headed for a dark ending. And it's this feeling, I feel like we've all kind of done that sometimes, where we have all given into something knowing that it's not going to end well. But we just decide to, I'm cheesy enough to quote my own lyrics, which is let's enjoy the way there,
Yes.
even though we know that it's going to be doomed in the end. So that's again exploring the very similar themes to Johanna's song, which is kind of the, death of things and loss of love, and how something so beautiful can turn into something so painful. And
Right.
so that's another way that our songs are very connected.
And that
The
is the
death
beauty
of
of it,
things.
because for artists, art is therapy, and we'll get to that topic afterwards, and we'll talk about how this particular piece has helped you to grow. But now, how about we tune into our first music video? What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
Do we need a little introduction? I think we're good. Yeah?
We are good. Which one are we doing again? Which one
We are
getting the
going
joy
to
sing?
Johanna's route first with Sandcastles.
All right.
Can't
Sounds
All
wait.
right.
Sandy castle near the water, the still air inside a cave. When the wishes that were granted turned to ashes, all the same, it's okay in the end. All that was given was well spent. Turn to living in the moment. As I look towards the sea, where the ocean's but a wave, not a photograph, but moving like a picture's fickle frame. Not a painting, more a beauty and a beast. Can't foretell, can't foresee what this moment's meant to be. What will pass, what will last by the ocean in the sand? What's the castle meant to stand, and what'll wash away? What is it we crave in that quiet cave? Why fight the change? Why can't we just accept we cannot stay? Why is the eternal quest to outdo and outbest? When in motion with the ocean, it's the sands we cannot test. Why the capture, why the hook? All the moments that it took. String of promise makes a net. Why is it I can't forget? Swimming hard against the current makes you only much more strained. While the salt in the water open wounds likes to spray. What is it we crave in the quiet cave? Why fight the change? Why can't we just
Yes. Woo!
It's so
Wasn't
beautiful.
Oh,
wasn't that
thank you.
gorgeous?
So
Yes.
gorgeous.
And
Oh,
we're gonna talk more about this, and we'll have a few guests in here to talk more about the video process. But Petra, if you want to say a few words about your video, and then we'll switch it over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot to say about mine.
short.
It's been in the works for 2 years, actually. We filmed the whole thing in, I think we had 2 filming days. One with the amazingly charismatic male lead of my video, which many refer to as the mystery man. After tonight, not so much.
Oh, we're
But
gonna have questions about that
oh,
soon.
I'm sure you will.
Who is that?
His name is Oliver, and he is incredible and very kind to do this project with me. But I'll talk a little bit more about that after the video. But we had one filming day with him and another with me on a very hot rooftop, on 2 very hot rooftops, actually, in the middle of New York summer. But this video is very dear to me because this is one of those things where I just had a very clear vision for this from the very beginning. It's like I think I've known what this video is supposed to be as long as I've had this song. So it just came, all the visual just came with the audio into my head many years ago when I wrote this song. So it's been really incredible to just see it actually happen and realized. And I know that Alexei is somewhere here in this live stream waiting for his turn to come on. He is my partner in visual crime for many of my projects now, and he just did an incredible job on this. So I can't wait for us to take you to a balmy summer night in the city of Manhattan Henge, like I like to call it.
That sounds lovely. And just for everybody, these videos will be available in just 15 minutes. So by the time we're done with this discussion, they will be available on YouTube. So you can watch them in full HD and 4K quality. But here we go, Petra's video.
Oh no! Valev, I'm not seeing it. Are you seeing it? It would not be alive.
looking at you and your wide-eyed Peter Pan smile. Striding down these streets of dust with your hand in mine. The city's in heat, a fire in the evening light. You got that restless kind of beauty of July. Baby, you're a wild child. I knew it from the moment we met. Spun me around, wrapped me in like a summer dress. There was nothing I could do. These light linen hues found me falling like a sun in the sea. But I know your wanderlust heart, and I've learned that sometimes to love is to set free. Our skins are turning gold in Manhattan Henge. We're two young gods on the run from heaven, and you've got your way with words. I know they're not just mine, yet I drink them off your lips like summer wine. Baby, you're a wild child. I knew it from the moment we met. Spun me around, wrapped me in like a summer dress, and there was nothing I could do. These night linen hues got me falling like a sun in the sea. But I know your wanderlust heart, and I've learned that sometimes to love is to set free. Your hand on my cheek, forget everything, and we know it's too soon, but who can stop me, dear? Your sweat on my skin, forget everything, and we know that we're doomed, but let's enjoy the way they. Let's enjoy the way they. Baby, you're a wild child, and I've learned that sometimes to love is to set free.
So good. I'm so sorry. It's
That's all
never,
right. We got there in the end.
yeah, never trust an iPad. And I was about to, like, I was trying to decide if I should do it in my my workroom, but it's so ugly. So relying on iPad and Safari. Mm-mm. Anyway, but that was beautiful, and I'm glad
Thank you.
we got it we got it through.
And it wouldn't be a
So
live stream if it weren't for like a little hiccup.
a
You
little
know.
No,
bit.
in every single premiere that I've ever had, every single video premiere, something always happens. I think there must be like a curse with my videos or something.
Oh, so that's a your
It's
thing.
me.
I
That's a
see.
me problem. I'm the problem. It's me. Yes.
So we have your wonderful videographer also here. Do you want to introduce him? He's
Yes,
coming on.
please.
Yeah.
Alexei Posnikov, aka that Russian guy productions. a dear friend, and we've done all kinds of crazy things together. We've run in a pitch black Central Park in the middle of the night with the hoods on, and this time we have apparently killed me with red wine. Welcome, my dear friend Alex. How are you?
I'm good. Also, fun fact that we were running in the dark Central Park after we did this scene with the wine because we have sort of a combined shooting days.
That's true. And I actually didn't mention that. So we were shooting the two videos simultaneously. We were shooting Summer Dress and Naive. Kind of, they were literally on top of each other. So we would have a whole day of shooting one thing and then a little glimpse of an afternoon shooting another. And yeah, we were mixing and matching a lot, weren't we?
Yep.
It's
Oh, also, yeah.
fantastic.
You were using all the footage you got. Yeah.
Well, actually, not actually. The Another fun fact about Petra, usually we have way more footage, and the problem is the songs are not that long to use all the footage that we made and to fit all the stories that we discussed and filmed. So it's actually any video. I mean, with Naive, if you remember, Petra released like a bunch of sort of well, not deleted scenes because they were never included, but just the scenes that did not make it. And it's not because they were bad, just because there was not enough space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already writing songs that are way too long for what Spotify wants, and yet we don't have space to say all the things that we want to say on screen.
Yep. Also,
But
I mean, did you play it? Because I could not see it here on my like waiting room.
oh,
Oh,
it
you
would.
didn't
Yeah,
see
I
it.
mean,
Oh no!
no. I mean, if everybody saw it, that's great. Because I mean, I saw it. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I think Alexei has seen enough of my face for a lifetime in the editing
Uh,
room.
I have to say, you two as a creative team work so well together. I've always loved what a visual artist Petra is, and the stories that she cooks up for her songs are just so much more than just the singer-songwriters' stories. They are pieces that involve acting and directing and producing and storytelling on a whole other level. So, not to say just singer-songwriter poo poo. No, that's enough. I
Thank
find it
you.
very inspiring to see you bring this wholesome package with every single song that you release, and the fact that you found someone to really bring your dreams to life with. I think your creative chemistry definitely is evident in the work. I loved Naive, and I think this one is equally as impressive. And I I really want to ask about that last scene of you. What is it with you constantly gluttonously showing us
Oh yes,
shoving
me
your face
too.
with cake and then having wine?
Me
It was
too.
really cool.
I
Ooh.
was like, was that
Thank
a little bit
you.
of Billie Eilish, like a little bloody thing, or where did that come from? Like that little surrealist? Because I always see you as like a happy bubble person, um, very eager and romantic. Just because
Yeah.
you're happy and bubbly doesn't mean you're not romantic. Um,
Yeah.
and you're going through things, but that was a little bit of like surreal, a little bit of darkness that you showed there. So what happened there? Where did that inspiration come from?
Oh,
So
Petra is full of dark.
oh,
Yeah, I,
she
I love
knows.
it too.
I have plenty dark. Okay, Johanna
I'm
knows
a
this.
blondie with dark hair, so.
Okay,
Yes.
I want to answer this, but I also really want Alexei you to answer this from your perspective, because very often what you end up seeing in a music video, like Alexei said, is maybe 25% of all the things that we originally kind of talked about and dreamt up together for it. So I'm going to answer it, and then I really want Alexei's answer as well. For me, there is something extremely delicious about the duality of doing something very romantic, sometimes even a little cliche, over the top romantic, like sunset hand holding or walking through Central Park in a princess dress, like in Naive, and then mixing it up with something a little, what what is a little shocking.
Cold heart reality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and those are
exactly. And
relatable moments, relatable moments
exactly.
with your own little kick to it.
They are
Yeah.
little cracks in the bubble, is how I
Yeah.
like to think about them. Because yes, I'm a romantic by all possible definitions, but I also, like you say, have seen stuff, and I also really do live in this constant. I feel like my whole life is walking on an edge between the utmost beauty of the world and then also just losing my faith in everything every other second. So I think that is reflected somehow here, and the wine scene is, I think, just there's such symbolism to the lyrics of the song, and you're heading for this doom, and you're kind of drinking these beautiful words of this person's lips, even though you know they're not just for you, and you drink them like summer wine, and you know they're gonna kill you, and there's just so much just very direct symbolism there. So, and I love that scene simply because I think death can be really beautiful. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But I really want Alexia you to answer this question as well.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like I'm always up for promoting drinking alcohol in slow motion visually. So
He's
it's like,
Russian. What you gonna say?
yeah, I'm just like reinforcing stereotypes, I guess. But no, like Petra had like this idea about sort of symbolically dying in the shot in the end with wine, and I'm like, why not? It's like this specifically the wine shot was Petra's idea, so in some way I don't think I have much to say. Well, I mean, like she said, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do that. So I didn't bring like much to that shot except of just making it. Uh, well, to be honest. So yeah.
You're giving me too much credit, I feel, but I'll take it. Also, a fun
I,
fact that I
I,
forgot
wa-
to
I was
mention.
gonna say, like, the sequencing of different scenes can make such a big difference. So it's, even if as an artist you have like visuals in mind, but how do you sequence them? That's such a big thing. So give yourself more credit. I think that's a big part
Oh
of
yeah.
making
No,
Yes.
I
that.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like to be, I was like talking about the specific scene with the wine. I mean, I will take the full credit for editing, 'cause, yeah, of course. Also, Petra did some. We have this our routine of going back and forth with like small edits and like kind of make it to perfection. Which I'm a perfectionist myself, so I totally get it. So sometimes we have like 2, 3 runs, or 2, 3 cuts, until we got like, okay, this is our final cut, which is cool, and I'm glad we're both happy with what we got in the end. Yeah, and also the sequencing is gonna promote some more Russian stuff, which is Kuleshov effect, which is like the core of editing. Maybe I shouldn't do that. It's not a lecture about editing, but uh, also editing was created by Russians. Just just telling, saying. Yeah, but I really like this combination of our kind of a dark, sad, romantic, fun, playful shots in this one. And the idea was, I don't know if uh, viewers registered that, but we sort of have two parallel visual stories plus lip syncing. Well, lip syncing is just kind of a neutral thing, and then we have sort of the darker, um, you know, today, sort of today, and then
Which is the
kind of
sunset
dreamy,
shots.
yeah, dreamy yesterday with. And the challenge was because the all the story about the romance itself was shot in slow motion, so it's kind of that's a challenge to feed the slow motion shots into the I mean, it's not like super dynamic song because that would that would be crazy, but like even with that rhythm is to fit all the slow motion shots and to make it. Hopefully, it's flows fine. So, like, guys, if you watch that, let us know what do you think about it. Like, did it blend well? Hopefully, yes.
And fun fact that I want everyone to go watch the video again when it's out on YouTube and find this little detail, which is that another very symbolic thing about this dying scene in the end is that the wine bottle is called Autumn. So it's the autumn that is
Oh.
Oh
killing
my gosh,
the
I
love
never picked that
because
up.
it's a summer
Yes.
romance. And I actually fashioned that
Yes.
etiquette for that label for the wine bottle myself. Because we couldn't find a wine called Autumn, and I was like, it has to be called Autumn. So, that's
Yeah.
also part of the symbolism. But
I
I,
That
love
is
those
so
Easter
cool. That is
eggs,
very
those little
cool.
things that we
yeah,
put in there. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
love that.
Also, you'll have more chances to see the autumn label in the first shots when Petra carrying the bottle, because in the last shot is in the background, so it's out of
Blurry.
focus. Yeah.
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 Very cool.
I really want to also bring out, I believe we have Tyler in the waiting room still. Poor
Do we?
Tyler. Do
I
we?
don't know.
I don't
Oh,
think
oh
so.
no?
I'm not seeing it
Yeah.
at the moment.
Okay,
But
well
I
then,
will
okay,
reach out.
good. But I really
Yeah.
wanted to ask Alex one more question. I
Sure.
hope I didn't forget it already with all my talk about wine. Um, I was curious as to this was our first. So we've had, for example, with Naive, we've had assistants before. We've had extras, so to speak. So we've had people whose face you barely see, who have kind of passed me by on the street, or people like this. But this was our first video with an actual male lead, with someone else actually with almost equal screen time to mine. And I'm curious, Alexei, about just your experience with that, how it affected your filming and what you focus on, and sort of like, I don't know, just I don't even know what to ask really about it. I'm just curious about it from your perspective, because I know that for me it was a very different experience. I'm not an actress. I've never had that opportunity to like make a story with somebody in that sense on screen. And so I just wanted to hear your perspective to it, and how it was for you to kind of have two people playing main parts.
Well, that was fun, and also I don't know if Oliver is gonna be here tonight, but
No, unfortunately not.
hats off to him, because okay, that's another kind of a quiz for Petra's fans. Uh, Go watch Naive and find Oliver in Naive, because this is actually the story how we met him. Because
Yes,
essentially, I don't know if I can tell this. It's
Is
like
he the
please.
guy that you bumped into?
Yes, he's the one
Sorry.
who almost drives me over by with his bike.
Was I
yeah,
allowed to say
Yes,
that?
tell the story, Alex. I really want you to tell it
yeah.
in a nutshell.
Well, yeah. So basically, we were I think we had we were looking for something, and then for some reason you went to this cafe somewhere in Greenpoint and Bushwick or Williamsburg, somewhere around those parts. Um, or you borrowed something from that cafe, and Oliver happened to work there, and they have a chat, and then we were filming the scene with a bike later, and I guess he happened to have a bike, and you were like, "Oh, do you want to be in the music video?" And he's like, "Oh, my shift ends at like at whatever 6." And Petra was like, "Yeah, great. Let's see you at the park." So he came, drove by bike by a couple of times. We did the shot, and it was like really nice. Then we kind of hang out after, talk a little bit, and then Peter is like, "Oh, by the way, I'm doing another music video. Do you want to part of it?" Uh,
It's
and he
such
said,
a
"Yeah,
Sex and the City, and just
It
like
is
that,
yeah,
one
so
of those.
cute.
Yeah,
yeah,
one of those, and just like that episodes where you just
yeah,
running, and that is so New York, and
That
Yes.
is
that's
so New
yes."
York.
And
so
And
we got
also,
hilarious.
really lucky because he was so charismatic and so
yeah,
just just looks really good on screen, let's be honest. So
Yes.
we got really lucky with that. The assistant that we just so happened to find was the perfect male lead for the next thing that we were going to do.
Yeah,
Because
and
I
his
was gonna ask like how much personal life did you put into it? Was that the actual guy or not? But now we've established it's an actor, but still
yeah,
wonderful story.
and
Wonderful
he
story.
did and he did so good. I
Yeah.
mean, I was giving you like some general directions, and then I was thinking like if it's gonna work, like if it's gonna look fine, we're just gonna go with that. Like I don't need to be like very specific. And you had like a really good like screen chemistry. Although like I remember you were pretty shy about some scenes. Um, no, I might not remember it correctly.
We
No, no,
are
you're
not
absolutely
saying that. We
correct.
are
The
not
the
saying
sunset
that.
Okay,
kissing scene, we had to
okay,
actually
yeah,
make a deal about how close our faces were allowed to
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because we
yes,
didn't know each other. I mean, and we're neither of
yeah.
us are actors. Like we're not
Well,
used to this.
did you guys at least meet up for a few days, or was that just the first?
No,
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 he's
It's
like
like
right
day
away.
random
one after
stranger.
the naive.
It's like you want to be in my music video? Let's go. Really?
Correct.
and then yeah, he
Wow.
turned out to be
That chemistry
very
to get his phone number at least.
The chemistry was very believable,
It
and
was
yeah,
maybe it
so
was
good.
the excitement of the newness of it and the fact that you two didn't know each other
So
that
good.
transferred so well on screen. So,
and
and
then
good for
Exactly.
you for setting up boundaries. I mean, you were basically your own intimacy coordinators, and that's
Of
important.
course, yeah, being professional, right,
Yeah.
and respectable, and but it looks so good and so believable. And if I didn't know that backstory, I would have been, yeah, like you had a full crew there. Yeah, so well
Thank
done.
you.
yeah, and
I
So
really
also
want. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, Alex, go ahead.
no, just that there is that short scene when they at the cafe at the bench, and Petra is like telling something like very excited. And in terms of like just acting, like emotion and all that, just look at Oliver face, like that, like he did uh like better than I could ever expected. Like this sort of a slight reaction of like between uh being interested and bored, and because that was what we were going for, and that's a
Yeah,
very the slight emotions are really hard to act.
Yeah.
um and like the just when the video is going to be available, just like kind of jump a few times, watch this scene for a couple times just to enjoy this very 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 like, what's the word, not slide but
like
details,
I
micro
liked
details.
it. It was the
expressions.
subtle
whole thing of,
subtle, very
hey
subtle,
babe,
yes.
I love you while I'm watching my screen on my phone
Yes,
parts. Yes,
yes.
Exactly.
it was
Details.
definitely very
And like his
meaningful.
half
I caught
smile,
it.
oh,
Half
it's like,
Right.
smile. Yeah, like
Beautiful.
yeah,
there but
that's
not.
amazing. Yeah,
It really
so
was. Yeah.
so basically it was pretty in I mean, I enjoyed it, and we managed to film all of the supposedly 4 dates, I think, or like 3.5 dates, sort of, within uh 3 hours around sunset.
Lots
So
of
we have
costume
like,
changes.
yes, and that was also hats off to both of you for like very like changing fast, because like, I mean, I did some work with color correction to kind of you know make this look like a different
Make it
date,
match.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and it sort of worked. But that was amazing. It was a very fast, very good. Like, I have
Thank
nothing
you, Alex,
to
and
complain
Ditto.
about.
Thank you. I mean, you are just the king of this whole thing. So thank
Aww.
you for being so patient with my crazy ass ideas. But now I really want to turn the
Absolutely. So I
conversation
want to,
back to Sandcastles because I really
yes.
want to talk to Johanna about that
So Johanna,
incredible
I wanted to
music
turn
video.
the tables over, and we have a Scott Tran actually live streaming right now, and he left a
Oh,
few
Scott.
comments. He said, "These wonderful ladies, auditory art tuned into visual art as well." Such wonderful comments, and then saying I'm sitting in front of my space heater. So very romantic and humorous comments. So tell us a little bit about how you and Scott work together, because I know he's a violinist and
Yeah.
he's
Hi,
on the
Scott.
track, right? So did he improvise a lot? Did you dictate much? How was that working relationship for you?
So this was a really, really, really cool New York story too, because I met Scott through Petra, and Scott and Petra have collaborated together quite a bit. And um, I was envisioning some violin on the piece, and my producer Jay and I had been working on the song, and it was basically completely ready. But Scott happened to Instagram message me saying, "Hey, if you ever need some violin for your song, I'd love to collaborate with you." And it was just one of those, moments in time where I'd literally been thinking about it. Oh, I really think that some authentic violin would sound really cool. And he messaged me, and I said, "Why not? This is what we need to do." And I loved Scott's playing, and it was. I've always loved his playfulness, his willingness to come and collaborate and be creative, and his energy is just spot on. Part of what we were talking about when it comes to the creative community. And so when he offered, I thought it was just meant to be. And I sent him some MIDI violin, and then he picked one of the lines and recreated it beautifully, authentically, while putting also his own little spin on it. And then, of course, when we went back to work on it with Jay, we just fleshed it out even more, and it just sounds so dramatic and like a full violin section. I'm just so happy. I feel like the song really needed it, and it would have never happened had he not messaged me at that particular moment in time.
It's such a wonderful collaboration because I play violin and I love good violinists, and each violinist also has its own like taste and way they perform and they do their music. So how much how much
Vale,
control did you give him versus yourself? Did you have the whole um thing ready? I just want to know, and then we're gonna talk about your music video.
before you answer, Johanna, I just want
Yes,
to interrupt. Alexei has to go, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for being part of this, Alex, and I'll
absolutely.
see you for the next big crazy thing that we're doing together.
It was
Nice
so
to meet
wonderful
you.
having you and wonderful work. And we're going to share it even more now. And it's live actually now. So let's share away.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so
Thanks.
much. Um, what was the question? I'm sorry. Can you repeat
So
it, please?
with Scott, like how did that work? Like intertwine with your and his personal taste. What was improvisation? What was your own? How much did you write it? Because
It
as a
was
folk musician, I want to know that.
Yeah, it was mostly me. So I had written
Yeah.
down several of the MIDI tracks already, and he kind of chose one of them. I think the top one, and then
Yeah.
did that and added just the embellishments that MIDI doesn't create was Scott, and I was very happy about it because that's what brought the authenticity to the song, that I think really just was what it needed. So I just
So so tell us a little bit more about the music video. So I know you worked with my really, really good friend Tyler.
yes,
How
yes.
did that go? How did you pick the place?
It
Because I cannot tell you where that place is.
okay. So this
It's
is a
so
really
universally shot, but
which
for
we
this.
got lucky. We got very lucky that it looks universally shot because it was in Far Rockaway Beach, which Petra introduced me to, because this whole music video was kind of thrown together very last minute, very spontaneously. It was something that I'd really wanted to do because I complained to you, Valev, before that the last music video of me in existence is the Kalevala Whispers, which was gorgeous and beautiful, and also a
So many
collaboration with
years ago.
Tyler. But it was
So many
several
years
years
ago.
ago,
Yeah.
and so as we've been doing the Diamonds Girls, concert annually, it's always been the same video that I've had to give you, Valev, and be like, "Yep, this is what I got."
Uh,
So I thought that it was time to create something different, and um, in the beginning, I wasn't sure how we were gonna make it happen. So Petra and I met up at the beach. We took some footage that we used for promotion while we were there, and then as it all kind of serendipitously came together, I was able to have Tyler come and repeat the visit and go back to the beach and film this gorgeous cinematic piece. And neither Tyler nor I have ever thought about anything less. It was the exact opposite of the beautifully thought out script that you, Petra, had with your team. We wanted to go and just live in the moment and find inspiration in those nature spots, and I feel like the waves tell the story. And I mean, it was incredible. Tyler's camera got wet twice. I can't believe the things we did. I swam with my clothes on, and um, somehow we tried things on the fly, and it's so fun working with someone that's just willing to just go at it and come up with things on the fly. We tried different kinds of stories. We tried the depressed woman, and then we tried the broken doll, if you will, and then we kind of ended up going with this slow motion thing where we played all of Sandcastles at twice the speed, and I had to actually play the harp score at twice the speed, and I had to sing it at twice the speed, and the
I
entire
was gonna
music
ask
video.
you about that because that is the hardest thing to do. When in
Yep.
live you have twice the speed, but it's a high, camera, and how the hell do you do that? Like that is craziness.
The singing was
Especially
actually
playing the
okay,
instrument, like
but the playing was really hard.
yeah.
Really one of the most challenging but fun things that I've gotten to do. And mind you, I'm playing Doreen, who now is R.I.P. dead. My harp died.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
It's
Doreen.
it's the harpist
So
for any the harp
the
for
harp's
anybody
name, yes, the
yeah who
folk
doesn't
harps.
know. It's the harp that
Yeah.
early going
And
uh,
early going, she
thing.
she was
Yeah.
loved very well, and she died while she was being played. So I
Yeah.
guess that's how harp should go. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really kind of nice that Doreen my harp got to be a part of this music video, because now she'll live on for eternally being played. But yes, imagine playing that harp on rocks on uneven ground while waves are splashing at you,
Oh
and you
God.
can't hear anything because neither Tyler nor I remember to bring loudspeakers. So
Oh
I
no.
had
What?
my
What?
phone tucked into God knows what places you don't want to know, and I'm trying to hear it while I'm playing it at double speed. It was it was an experience, but the beauty of it is that as challenging and as unthought out as it was, I think, at least for me, and I think for Tyler as well, it was a very rewarding day
Yeah.
in the sun, being creative, and I'm so proud and happy of what we got out of it. And it couldn't have happened if it weren't for this beautiful score that Jay Elton and I created and produced. Jay produced, and we released that in September. And now to have this music video out, it just is full circle. So I'm very
And
happy.
I mean, this is independent video making.
Yeah,
This is what it is. And I
guerrilla
think that
style.
I
Yeah,
think this is why I love releasing behind the scenes material from just projects that I do, because I do not think that people can possibly understand the circumstances in which we operate. I mean, it's incredible. And
yeah.
to make it look so cohesive and calm and serene, like, kudos to you and Tyler. This is
Thank you.
wow,
And by the way,
incredible.
I love that my hair got wet. That was not intentional. That was the wave that crashed over me. And now looking back, I'm like, I should have had my hair wet the entire
I I
time.
was
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that. It's not a big question, but yeah, I was gonna ask you about like how did you plan your hair getting wet? Because I know that it's an indie production. You don't have like a hairstylist who's gonna blow your hair up again and make it dry. So how did that come about? And you said it was by accident,
It
right?
was by accident.
So
Yes.
those were the last shots.
Those were the last shots. Yeah. And it happened after Tyler's camera got wet, and I got wet. I was fully wet from head to toe, because we were filming in the ocean. We were literally in the ocean filming this thing.
And you see, those are the photos that we are using right now for promotion.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Those
Yeah.
are the most, authentic moments. So it
Yeah.
really tells you to trust the process and just go along with it and the emotion during that day and whatever comes of it. And good
And
things can
and
come.
good things came out of it. The
Yeah.
only thing that I went into with that whole music video concept was that I actually wanted it to be, um, you know, very minimal makeup, hair not done, raw and honest and human. And so I didn't want it to be glam. I didn't want it to be. I didn't want to hire a makeup stylist or a hairstylist because I actually wanted to be brave enough to present something that is created in the moment. So to go back full circle to what we talked about and how we started this, and that would probably be a good way to wrap it as well, is that I think it takes bravery to be an artist, and it takes bravery to give yourself artistic freedom to live and breathe it and to be the truthful you. And I wanted to bring that into this music video as well because this song is raw honesty. It was my comeback in a way. I haven't released any music in over a decade that was truly my own and my own singer-songwriter stuff. I've been writing musicals and I've been doing film stuff and projects that are incredible collaborations with other people, but this one came truly from the soul, and so I felt like the music video had to reflect that.
Hmm.
And
And it
that
does.
that is beautiful ending. Before we finish this live stream, I want both of you to say a few sentences about what's coming next. And I know that Johanna, you have a release coming up.
I
Um,
do. Yes.
so why don't you start it off?
And I'm so, 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 so happy about the fact that I get to collaborate with you on that as well. So thank you. And it's also a collaboration of Jay's and mine. It's Little Angel, coming out December 1st. It's a holiday song written on Doreen. Rest in peace. She will live on forever in the music. But it's a very cool special song as well. I don't think it hit you, Valev, until you heard it with the holiday spin of it and with the beautiful creativity that Jay added to it. That it was a holiday song, right? Because you've heard me play it live many times.
Yeah, yeah.
But now I
You're
feel
right.
like it's what it needs to be. So
But it's so fitting. It's so fitting right now.
it's
Yeah,
coming up
beautiful.
December 1st. That and Greyland soundtrack is coming out tomorrow, which is the short film that I worked on and collaborated on with Tyler and with Quentin Garzon. So keep your eye out on that too.
You heard it first. That's wonderful. Petra, how about you? What's happening with you, and what can we look forward to?
There are a lot of pots stirring that cannot be named yet. And that don't have dates yet either. So I have nothing as specific as Johanna does, but there is a chapter 4 coming to my story. Those of you who have been with me for a while have noticed that I am revealing the story of my album chapter by chapter, like I would write a book, like a storybook. So instead of, sitting alone in a corner and writing the whole book and then after 10 years releasing all of this music, I want to kind of do it on the go. So once I finish a chapter, I will put it out and then I'll do the second one and so forth. And Summer Dress was chapter 3. So we are now up to the 4th chapter, and 4 is my lucky number. So it will be something extra special. But that is all that I can reveal at this point. But the best thing to do to stay updated on everything is just to join my newsletter on my website. That's really where that's kind of like a little VIP club where you get the news first of everything exciting that's happening. And also just connect with me on the socials. I am very active on Instagram. I've grown to love it. And I will also be releasing a ton of very hilarious behind the scenes material of the making of Summer Dress in the next
Oh,
week or so.
cool.
So
Good. Well,
yeah, it's
that is so exciting.
it's interesting. There is a real DIY mood going on in those videos.
Love it.
So yeah, I can't wait to share that with you as well.
I can't wait to see you guys in person, by the way, at a tentative possible
Same.
future
Yes,
date.
yes, please. We gotta make that happen. Well, everybody, thank you so much, and thank you too for making it with me and joining me. It's been so much fun
Thank
getting
you
to
so much, Vala. It's been
a little
lovely.
bit better
It's
because
Ready
I
for
never asked
winter.
those questions. So we're gonna have the both music videos still going on after this broadcast once more, but head over to both of their YouTube channels and they're live now. So please enjoy.
Thank you,
Thank
Vala,
you,
for
and thank you for
hosting. Thank you,
everyone.
Petra, for joining me in this venture, as usual.
Oh, same, Johanna, my dear. Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you, guys. Bye.
Sandy castle near the water, the still air inside a cave. When the wishes that were granted turn to ashes, all the same, it's okay in the end. All that was given was well spent. Turn to living in the moment. As I look towards the sea, where the ocean's but a wave, not a photograph, but moving like a picture's fickle frame. Not a painting, more a beauty and a beast. Can't foretell, can't foresee what this moment's meant to be. What will pass, what will last by the ocean in the sand? What's the castle meant to stand, and what'll wash away? What is it we crave in that quiet cave? Why fight the change? Why can't we just accept we cannot stay? Why is the eternal quest to outdo and outbest? When in motion with the ocean, it's the sands we cannot test. Why the capture, why the hook? All the moments that it took. String of promise makes a net. Why is it I can't forget? Swimming hard against the current makes you only much more strained, while the salt in the water open wounds likes to spray. What is it we crave in the quiet cave? Why fight the change? Why can't we just accept we cannot stay? Why is the eternal quest to outdo and outbest? When in motion with the ocean, it's the sands we cannot test. When a soul's laid bare, when a soul's laid bare, that's when the truth we share, truth we share. All I promised, you gave in the caverns of this cave. Hollow echoes of false hope. Must we lie so we can make our sandcastles in the sun just to cope? and not to run. This mirage is all we know, and now it gave away, and now it gave away, and now it gave away. Here's looking at you and your wide-eyed Peter Pan smile, striding down these streets of dust with your hand in mine. The city's in heat, a fire in the evening light. You got that restless kind of beauty of July. Baby, you're a wild child. I knew it from the moment we met. Spun me around, wrapped me in like a summer dress. There was nothing I could do. These bright linen hues found me falling like a sun in the sea. But I know your wanderlust heart, and I've learned that sometimes to love is to set free. Our skins are turning gold in Manhattan Henge. We're two young gods on the run from heaven, and you've got your way with words. I know they're not just mine, yet I drink them off your lips like summer wine. Baby, you're a wild child. I knew it from the moment we met. Spun me around, wrapped me in like a summer dress, and there was nothing I could do. These night linen hues got me falling like a sun in the sea. But I know your wanderlust heart, Sometimes to love is to set free.